Welcome back to TechnoSage YouTube channel. So NVIDIA has released its RTX Remix in open beta as of now. And it's basically like it's RTX Remix. It works on NVIDIA's systems, basically NVIDIA's GPU, and it's essentially like you can upscale it with ray tracing on and stuff. It's like a tool for game development, but there you can upscale your assets and stuff like that with ray tracing, similar to Unreal Engine. But for Unreal Engine, you need to know everything. But here it is done using AI, and it is AI enhanced and stuff like that. You can implement DLSS. This will just open the floodgates for mods and remakes. Basically, remake of old games, not ground up remakes per se, but only like upscale textures remakes with AI and stuff, and it will be totally awesome. Let's see how things turns out to be. But yeah, RTX Remix Studio is available for those who wants to learn things, and also for those who wants to tinker with the games they have. So yeah, it's available. Next up, in China you can reportedly buy a mobile GPU, which is weird to say, but yeah, basically they are taking like that RTX 4090M, 4080M, 4070M, like RTX mobile GPUs, and putting it in a GPU shroud with a PCI Express Lane card and selling it for sometimes a bonkers amounts of price. But yeah, it's available, though you will not get official support from Nvidia per se on these GPUs, because these are not desktop GPUs, these are laptop GPUs, essentially put in a desktop form factor like GPU shroud. And it's I don't know what they are doing, but it feels so weird to see these things in China basically. But yeah, it's so weird to see that yeah, you can essentially get driver support, but these are just mobile parts, and you can't essentially overclock it with an overclocking tool because they don't have that much of a headroom to overclock. But yeah, next up, AMD kept its promise of updating their tech sheet, spec sheet of 8000 series. Essentially, what happened was like when 8000 series was launched, it came with Zen 4 and Zen 4 C cores, which are their hybrid core architecture, but nowhere they mentioned the Zen 4 C's frequency, which didn't lead to many bad things, but we didn't know what was the base frequency and boost frequency of those little cores were. And AMD said they will be updating it, and they essentially updated it, but it feels a bit weird the way they updated it. Is like you can't see it on the on essentially the spec sheet on the website, as you can see over here. You don't see it here, you just see the Zen 4 and 4C. You have to click on the C full specification, where you can see the frequency of those Zen 4C cores, which are their little cores. But they do mention their best clocks and boost clocks of those cores, which is nice to see. But yeah, it's a bit weird, but they will update it later down the line maybe. But yeah, here you can see max boost clock and max Zen 4C clocks. So yeah, they did it, and they didn't do it for Zen Ryzen Z1 or Z1 Extreme. Don't know what they're doing. Maybe they are in the works of doing it, or maybe they just forget about it. But yeah, for Ryzen 5 8000 series, it's updated, but you need to go through an additional step of seeing the full specification of Zen 4C cores essentially, which is kind of a weird, but yeah, you can essentially get an idea of what these CPUs are capable of. And AMD just kept its from promise of updating their graphics, updating their CPUs. And Ryzen 3 8300G doesn't comes with 4C cores, doesn't comes with not, but it comes with everything. Also, last up, we know Intel's hyper threading is going away. Like with Intel's 15 Gen Arrow Lake S could abandon the hyper threading, and they will call rental unit basically. And this is just the case because hyper threading is essentially like during one clock cycle, you provide two different instruction to a single core, because during one clock cycle there might be an instruction which takes like small amount of time, but you are waiting for the entire clock cycle to be finished. So that's why there was hyper threading, like where where for one core you essentially give two multiple sets of instruction in one clock cycle. But this doesn't happens with big dot little design, because there is there are efficiency cores, and with efficiency cores sometimes you don't have hyper threading and stuff like that, which inserts delay. And sometimes can you can't do it, because when during the clock cycle the efficiency cores is doing some other task, and it's a mess to implement it in big dot little design. That's why they came up with a rental unit which they had patented for it. And it essentially, what it does is like the high performance work will go to the performance cores, and the small composite task will go to the little cores. That's essentially how they are going to implement it with Arrow Lake as 15 gen. Let's see how things turns out for Intel. But yeah, that's it from me today. What do you think about the news? Sound of your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll meet you in the next one. Peace out.